What's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. 1 day from hump day and 3 days from Friday. Also, how many days till Christmas? 4 days till Christmas. And 18 days from I don't know when. But welcome back. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single day, we're coming at you live from our studio here in the heart, Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily live show. Today, we have a very packed show. We're talking about Coinbase set forth a regulatory guideline that they plan on pitching to regulators here in the U.S. We're going to break it down for you. We're going to talk about it. Also, new money has been found through the FTX platform. QuadrigaCX Bitcoin wallet is on the move. If you remember, this was an exchange that the founder mysteriously died, and he was the only one with the crypto keys. How the hell did Bitcoin move from their own wallet? We'll talk about that. And also, we have a very special guest joining us. Gary Cardone, the chairman of board for Node 40, is going to join us, talk about crypto taxes, tax loss harvesting. And if you've had money stuck on any of the bankrupt crypto platforms, what you can do to minimize your tax liabilities. Before I get to the content, I have to introduce you to your other co-host, Kyler. What's up?
Hola! And welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the unfettered champions. Not bought or paid for by any organization. This is 100% funded by the gentlemen in this room, plus Robin the Great. I'm Kai the Medium. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, where we take the old, the boring, and the stale information, and we package it up in a fun and sexy way.
Well, that was a little awkward. Not
Robin has no idea who I'm talking about.
Rocco, you mean?
Yeah, Robin knows. Rocco doesn't.
Robin said, what is happening right now? I don't know, bro. This dude said, I got Macho Man. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, what the hell's going on? Guys, welcome back. Robin, he has we gave him some pay time off. Well, it's not paid. None of us are getting paid. But Robin's spending time with his family. We got Kyler filling in again. Snap into a Bitcoin set talks. Okay.
I love it.
Guys, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We bring the entertainment and the fun. But today we have such a packed show. We're going to get started right off the bat with your favorite bank, Wells Fargo, has officially agreed to pay $3.7 billion over their consumer law violations. If you remember, a few years ago, Wells Fargo was charging illegal fees and interest on auto loans and mortgages for their customers, as well as incorrectly applying overdraft fees against savings and checkings accounts. They were looked into by the U.S. government, and they now have settled $3.7 billion. Who's going to get a majority of that money? I'm assuming the consumers. I'm sure the government will get some of that as well. But if you have a Wells Fargo account or you had one a few years ago, you might be seeing some money. Moving right along, some news regarding FTX and their money. FTX new management says the company has located over $1 billion in assets, including $720 million in cash. What I hope, which I know is not going to happen, what I hope is they just say, okay, we have this money now, instead of throwing it into the bankruptcy slush fund where the lawyers take their egregious fees and people have to wait years. Let's just divvy it up now. But I know that's not going to happen. But at least they found some money. And also, big shout out. By the way, guys, if you're not following this Twitter handle, ZachXBT, do yourselves a favor. Go follow him. This guy is an on-chain sleuth. He spends countless hours. He understands the back end of crypto smart contracts. So he's able to identify scams and certain things that we might not. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to identify. But here it is. Over the past couple of weeks, a number of 3Commas users have reported unauthorized trades on their centralized exchange accounts. 3Commas blames it on phishing, but I now have a verified group of 44 victims who've had $14.8 million in total stolen. Users have made complaints across different exchanges. It's clear this is not a phishing, and API keys were stolen. 3Commas and their founder have chosen to blame its users. Delete the API keys if you haven't already and stop using 3Commas. A group is currently organizing a class action lawsuit. So if you've been affected please leave a comment below. I've never used 3 commas. Kyler, have you ever used 3 commas?
No.
Have you ever used 4 commas?
You know what? I've used 3
What is a
commas
comma?
in a single sentence, which I don't think is appropriate.
That's
There's
not
got to
right.
be a period in there.
That's right. Rocco, have you ever used 3 commas?
No,
No.
I don't know what it is.
But if you have used the 3 commas exchange, please delete your keys, take your money off of there. You should be doing that anyways with everything going on with
Never.
cryptocurrency and with the whole FTX debacle. All right, let's jump right into the cryptocurrency markets and hit the like button, like Kyler said. Sorry, Randy. Macho or Randy? What do you prefer?
I would love to read comments as Randy Savage all
No,
day.
please, no.
Come on.
No. No, then
Can I give shout outs as Randy Savage?
No.
Oh,
I don't know,
no.
whatever. Maybe once or twice.
David,
so
Mom
we have,
David over here.
we have Bitcoin coming in at 16,837, up 1.27% on the 24 hours. If we hop over to the Bitcoin chart on the 4-hour, I have the Heiken Ashi candles. I also have the Ichimoku cloud pulled up. And you can see here, we're making a move towards this, the bottom range of this cloud here, which is right at 17,200, which we should see resistance there. If we do see a move to the downside, expect to get to or find support at 16,100. We did hit that twice, 3 times actually, back November 9th, November 14th, and more recently, November 27th. So that's a decent area to go in. Lagging indicator is still below price, which is a negative signal. And of course, the cloud is red. So in the short term, no bueno. Let's take a look at the crypto bubles. Over the last day, you have some of the biggest gainers. Filecoin is up 6.8%. Bullish Kenny G's favorite token. GMX is up 7.9%. XCN, the new Elrond, which is Metaverse X. If you say that really fast, it'll turn into something else. That is down 5.3%. So nothing crazy going on here. If we take a look at the week, everything is in the red except for our friend XDC. If we go back to the, if we hop over to the traditional markets, markets are kind of in the middle. Dow was up 226 points. NASDAQ up 0.5%, along with the S&P 500. The Japanese markets are tanking. This is off news that the Bank of Japan is moving their treasury yield, the upper band, they're moving it up 50 basis points. So a lot of people are speculating that Japan has, to my understanding, I don't know what XCN is either, Talks. So Japan is one of the few countries who has not touched interest rates. The central bank has not stepped in. And now that they have stepped in, people are saying, hey, if Bank of Japan is now raising interest rates, we're obviously worried about inflation, which means we should not expect even anything close to a pivot anywhere in the world, including the US in 2023. Which means risk on assets will still be hampered down by the central bank, by the Fed. Risk on assets will continue to either bleed or they'll continue to just trade sideways. I think that's all I got for the markets. I want to move on to the biggest news of the day that we're talking about. Yeah.
Before we go there, we want to give a little love to the chat. Maybe just say hi to everybody.
Go ahead, Kyler. Give some love to the chat, Kyler. Oh, God.
Tug, aye, pleasure to see you. Seek and Hunt, I love it, you're in the chat. Mitch Saw, Crypto 420, Bullish Kenny G, Dai Gorton, welcome me on, Tox, Sean C, New World Crypto.
All right, so for the people who have no idea what you're doing, will you explain to them who are you imitating?
I'm just talking to anyone out there in our chat who I appreciate, and I see you in the chat. I see you in the chat. Thanks for coming in and watching us. Spread the love.
All right, so here...
I have no idea.
Rocco has no idea. All right, so this is...
Rocco will know by the end of the show.
All right, this is Macho Man Randy Savage. He was a WWE character, and he spoke just like that. We're going to get canceled. I'm just kidding. All right.
You can't cancel me.
All right.
I'm living through all beings right now.
Robin, if these mics are blown out, Kyler's buying new ones for the studio. All right. Let's talk about Coinbase and a new regulation that they want to put. Well, not that they want to put in place, but they're going to be advocating for this sort of regulation. This is from the Coinbase.com website. You can go check it out yourself. Pretty interesting things in here. We're going to kind of break it down. Then we have our guest joining us in about 20 minutes. So it breaks it down into 4 or 5 different categories. First starts off by saying it's best to create regulatory clarity first around centralized actors in crypto, which includes stablecoin issuers, exchanges, and custodians, because this is where we've seen the most risk of consumer harm. That is true. Next talks about stablecoins. You shouldn't have to be a bank to issue stablecoins unless you want to do fractional reserve banking. He goes on to say bank regulation is the most stringent because it comes with permission to lend out customer funds. So what would a reasonable stablecoin law require for issuers? Couple highlights here. Register as a state trust or a OCC national trust charter. You can also be a bank if you want to do fractional reserve or invest in riskier assets, which obviously I feel like a lot of these stablecoin issuers wouldn't do. Undergo rigorous annual audits, which provide transparency that customer funds are held in appropriate reserve assets and separate from corporate cash. And finally, establish a blacklist capability to meet sanctions requirements. Off the jump, Kyler, what are your, okay, so we kind of agree, stablecoin, we need regulations around stablecoin, right?
Sure.
If I want to know that if I'm putting into a dollar pegged stablecoin, that the back end is good, that the back end is solid, it's backed 1-to-1, not
I
by
love
BS,
solid backends.
not by BS corporate debt, not by junk bonds, like super safe, either cash or super liquid treasury securities like T-bills, T-notes, T-bonds.
That sounds fair.
That sounds fair, right? Do you have any issue with anything they said? The only thing I can think of where people will have an issue is this whole blacklist to meet sanctions. We know with government, once you give them power, right, it's hard to take that power away.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give them power, which obviously they can sanction anyone they want, but if they start sanctioning people because, hey, you're moving a lot of money through stable coins or
Yeah, it's just
whatever.
like the banking system now. Like try and take $1,000, try and take $10,000 out of your bank.
Well, here's the thing. You try to put $10,000 in your bank. I've done that a couple times. And what they do is they just verify your information. Hey, you still work here? What's your annual income?
Did you know that my
Where'd
bank
this money
actually
come from?
My bank called me to ask me about all of my crypto transactions. My bank was like, "Hey, you got a lot of suspicious transactions going on. What are you using the money for?" And I was like, "It's just me, man. This is just my stuff." I'm like,
Was this after FTX?
"No. Well, this was
Before?
like a year ago."
Oh.
Yeah, and I was really taken aback by it. I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, why can't I?" I mean, they're like, "Well, we're just trying to make sure that you're not investing for other people." Which,
Interesting.
yeah, it's weird.
So someone said Sam Bankman-Fried Hospital.
I do have a question about stablecoin.
Flying Dutchman.
They don't understand.
That's a SpongeBob reference, right?
Also a burger at In-N-Out. What were you saying, Rocco?
I do have a question about stablecoins. Maybe
Okay.
you guys can clear it up a little bit. So, what? First of all, something basic. We're talking about stablecoin like is a fact, but what is really a stablecoin? Why we need a stablecoin? I mean, if that's the same things of printing money, because let's say I'm in the United States, I have my own stablecoins. Okay.
You
Now
Fed
I'm
coin?
in Italy. Eh?
Like the Fed coin? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
let's say
talking about?
that we
Like a
have
CBDC, central bank
something
digital
official,
currency?
central bank, and then Italy has its own stable coins, so you can print his own one. So which is going to be the reference? How many I can have it if it's not backed by anything? What is really a stable coin? That's I don't understand it.
Well, a stable coin is meant to be essentially the dollar
Just a digital dollar, right?
in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. And so the
Yeah.
problem is, let's say you're trading in and out or whatever, you want to stable coins or you want to use it to facilitate payment or whatever the case may be. You can do that, but the problem is,
But I need to adopt your stable coin.
well, here's the thing: if everything's being regulated under one umbrella, and certain stable coins will have like a tag on them that say this is a regulatorily issued, I don't even know what the right wording is, issued stable coin, you know for a fact they're backed 1-to-1. You don't have to worry about any arbitrage. You're not, like whatever the case may be, it's not algorithmic. It's got, if everyone starts to pull their money out, there's enough money to pay everyone out. And so I think I think that's important. I think that's the easiest one. And I agree with Brian Armstrong and Coinbase. That's the easiest one, the one people are most on board with, that has a cohesion of everyone in the space that you can do and at least do something, right? Because if you have the choice between two stable coins, Rocco, you got one that's not audited and issued by a compliant entity, or you have one that's either algorithmic or is or sorry, you have one that's not and one that is.
What if, for example, like one has silver backing it, right? So for every, whatever the value is, so $25 right now. So like every one stable coin is a 1/125th you have silver. You know what I mean? So like every ounce of silver you have, you can issue 25 stable coins for that ounce of silver. That would kind of be like to create the value of a dollar peg so that you have the assets.
But I don't know if, so I don't know if regulatory agencies would approve of that being, here's what they're going to do. And I guarantee you this, guys, mark my words. When a stablecoin bill comes to play and you want to get approval from the government or whatever entity oversees it, they're going to make you have treasury securities, because what's that going to do? It's going to bring more liquidity to the treasury securities market, which liquidity has been drying up over the last few months, to the point where the Fed has come out and said, no matter what the inflation landscape is or monetary policy is, if the Treasury Department and Treasury Securities need liquidity, we are going to provide it. We will buy it up. We will sell whatever we have to do. Geronimo said you'll have to over-collateralize it, but I'm telling you, it'll be a way. And for the government, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. They can now use a stable coin if they really wanted to, right? Digital dollar in a sense. They have money flowing into the Treasury Securities, propping up that market with the liquidity. And so, Rocco, I'll ask you the question again. If you have two stable coins to choose from, one falls in line, one doesn't, which one are you going with?
Yeah, the thing is, if we have a 3, 4, 5, 10, that's the thing. How that's going to be the line to regular? That's my question. Because we presume that it has to be $1 from one stable coin. But what if we want to use a different measure that is not $1? That's where my question goes.
Well, but they have euro-pegged stable coins. They have yen-pegged stable coins.
The Emirates Arabs, they want to use their own whatever.
That's fine, but that's up to their regulatory body. But here in the U.S.,
exactly, how are we going to accept?
You would just have to go. You just have to take that risk. But here's the thing: I think a stablecoin bill would be borderless. And when I mean that is, I say when one country adopts it and it works, I think every other country, there's no reason to try to do something different. Like I said, it helps with your economy and your treasury, securities. It brings liquidity there. And B, it's something, you can feel comfortable using too. So yes, I couldn't find anything about Sam being in the hospital. So that's fake news. But safe to say,
we don't spread FUD on this channel.
Safe to say that myself and I believe a majority of you watching, if we had a choice between a stable coin that for a fact is backed 1-to-1 by highly risk-free and liquid U.S. Treasury securities, we would feel more comfortable using that than like an algorithmic stable coin or something that's just backed by corporate commercial paper, junk bonds, whatever the case may be. It's a win-win for the government. I think it's a win-win for the consumer as well. So no issues with that part of the bill. Okay, so let's move on. The next part, Okay, there we go. So it goes on. Hopefully we can get something like this passed in the first half of next year. Hopefully, I agree. Next, talking about exchanges and custodians. Once we have stablecoin regulation clarified, a set of rules for centralized exchanges and custodians can help prevent bad activity while preserving innovation. Here are some potential regulations for centralized exchanges and custodians. Implement robust KYC and anti-money laundering policies and procedures. Establish a federal licensing and registration regime that allows you to get one license and serve an entire country, or a passport that licensed to an entire region like the European Union. In places like the US, it's fine to preserve the option for states to issue their own license as well, but there should be a federal option that allows the US to be a single market. I'll stop there real quick. Are you for, Kyler, are you for states issuing their own, or you think it should be a federal overall, everyone falls under the same umbrella?
I don't know, man. It's really hard. The problem with this is that like crypto is kind of like a people's currency. It's not a nation's currency. You know what I mean? So like a lot of these were so Satoshi Nakamoto didn't create Bitcoin so that the U.S. could benefit from it. He created Bitcoin so that the world would be able to benefit from it. So it's really hard to say like it's just like air. It's like
Yeah,
are you
but
going to
here's the
regulate
thing.
who breathes?
Yeah,
Are you,
no,
like that's
no,
our
but
oxygen.
That's different. Okay, we're talking about two different things. We're talking about a centralized exchange, a company that wants to operate in the U.S.
Yeah.
You have to abide by certain laws. My
I mean,
question
yeah, I
is,
guess.
so take for example the whole marijuana thing, right?
Yep.
Marijuana is legal here in Nevada.
In the States.
Recreational. Right, but some states it's still illegal.
Right.
Like that is not currently under one federal umbrella.
Right.
So my question is, these exchanges, these custodians, these centralized entities, should it all be under one federal umbrella where across all 50 states and Puerto Rico and whatever the case may be, you have to abide by the same rules, or should it be state by state? And then and remember, if you go state by state, now you
Is
run
it
into the
kind of state by state right now? Doesn't New York have
different rules. That's
Yeah.
my point, though. That's my point.
so you're saying the federal law should take over and
would you- well,
supersede everything else?
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Like, what are
Sure.
some pros and cons, right? What are some pros to do it on a federal level? For me, everything gets streamlined. There's no confusion. Oh, this state does this, and I move my operations to this state, or I move to another state, and I gotta learn the whole different things. Or what you're gonna have is, if it's state by state, you're gonna have people doing what they're doing now. They're gonna either if they're deep into crypto or they're whatever the case may be, they might move to a different state. Obviously, the VPN thing is still an option, which actually
I mean, you
don't
can
even
find
know.
ways around it. We have the internet, man.
That's
The
what I'm
internet-
saying, but I don't even know if VPN.
Look at,
you
okay,
can
so
do
here's a
specific
perfect
state.
example right now. Okay, you can't buy XRP legally between like a regulated exchange here in the US. But how many of us in this channel have gone out and
You
gotten
can buy
XRP?
XRP on KuCoin.
Can you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, KuCoin. KuCoin's not
Well-
here though. KuCoin is a decentralized exchange. It's not a regular. No, so if you wanted to buy it through an exchange here, can't
No,
do it on
here-
crypto.com.
KuCoin
Can't
is
do
not
it
a
on
decentralized-
Coinbase.
KuCoin is a centralized exchange. It's not decentralized.
Where's it centralized at?
I don't know where it is.
Pretty
but
sure it's a decentralized
it's a
exchange.
centralized exchange. They hold your crypto, right?
But that's what makes it centralized?
Exactly. They're the custodian of your crypto. So a decentralized exchange would be something like, I don't know, you can call, I guess, Aave something decentralized, where you hold your own crypto and you're trading back and forth, or whatever the case may be. So
You don't have to have
Market
KYC
making.
in order to be able to function on KuCoin.
yeah, you do. If you want to
Mm.
withdraw, you do. I had a KYC when I withdrew money. Uphold, there you go. Uphold's a good one. So I don't know. Let's back to the point though,
Really?
right?
I send stuff out as KuCoin all the time without KYC.
KuCoin is located in the Seychelles.
Where?
Seychelles, yeah,
In Seychelles?
offshore. Yeah, KuCoin is centralized. Yeah,
Fair enough.
not supposed to use KuCoin in USA. I know, but here's the thing: I don't use a VPN, and I use KuCoin. So
Right.
I don't know. Is KuCoin next under the umbrella, or under the fire and attack of the U.S. government? Who knows?
Like how
What
many
do you
fires are you going to try and put out, man? It's like like you're just going to
Well,
be like
they-
the dam
they-
with all the holes trying
Well,
to poke them up.
But Kyler, you got to think of it this way: the government agencies like the SEC are getting skewered by the public and by their colleagues. Why did you guys not stop? How did you not see FTX coming? So of course everyone's going to overreact. Everyone's going to overreact, and people are going to go after. Oh my God! Now we have to look at Binance. Now we have to look at KuCoin. I have to look at. You know what I'm saying? They're going to overreact, and they're going to try to make up for what they didn't do.
Yeah, but like back to my point, it's like they could try.
I mean, if you're a centralized entity and you're
You can
operating
try
in
and
the US,
stop the digital revolution, but it's coming. You cannot escape it.
Yeah, what he said. All right. So I want to know what the chat thinks. Chat, do you guys think that it should be a federal license? I don't want to call it's not a bit license, but a federal under one umbrella if you want to operate here as a centralized entity in the US, or should it be state by state, let each state kind of do their own thing, set their own regulation? What do you guys think? Put a 1 if you want a federal umbrella, put a 2 if you think it should be state by state. 1 federal, 2 state by state. Curious to see what you guys think. All right, let's go back to the article here. Staying with the exchanges and centralized custodians, they want them to require strong consumer protection rules, such as disclosure of risks and transparency around fees and conflicts of interest, prohibit market manipulation, wash trading, and other forms of market misconduct. So here's an interesting point I thought of. Coinbase has come out and said that they are not a market maker. Coinbase is not a market maker. So they don't set the liquidity. They outsource that to someone else. Should a centralized exchange that custodies your crypto, right? Should they have a fiduciary responsibility to always act in the best interest of their consumers, which would kind of, which butt heads with the whole, hey, we're an exchange, but we're also the market maker, right? We provide the liquidity. Or should it be separated and segregated?
I think KuCoin should serve one purpose. KuCoin is your onboarding. You get on, you get it, and then from there you could do whatever you want with it. But you get into cryptocurrency. That's exactly what I did. So I got into cryptocurrency. I bought it through Coinbase, and then I took it and started doing whatever I want with it. Because it's my digital property at that time. Like, what are you gonna do? You can't tell me how to spend it. You can't tell me what I can and can't do with it. What?
Well, they can actually tell you what the hell they want.
They can try.
No. Cut his mic off. Okay. All right. By the way, guys, before we bring our guests on, just kind of wrapping up what the Coinbase thing said. They talked about a updated version of the Howey test, how it has to fit all four things. Talked about immediately having the CFTC and SEC come together, take the top 100 coins and say security, commodity, or other being stablecoin. And so I think that's pretty fair. Let me know what you guys think. Are you with this Coinbase? It's not technically a proposal. It's just an outline. I don't really have that big of an issue with everything I read. If you are going to go with a centralized exchange, you need to understand the risks. If you don't want to take the risk, you need to understand, if you do it yourself, the risks of custodying your own crypto and whatnot. All right, we have our guests ready. Let's go ahead and patch him in, Rocco. Mr. Cardone.
Hello.
Hey guys,
How are you doing, sir?
how's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Is that coffee or tea?
Coffee. I got a little cold, so I'm having to do a little coffee here. It's
Okay.
55 degrees in Florida, so we don't know what to do when it gets this cold.
That's really cold for Florida, right?
I don't know why more people don't live here. I got to tell you, this is the cloudiest day I've had in December. It's just spectacular here. So
I think hurricanes might be a good reason, right?
been down here all my life, and I've never been smashed by one. So,
Fair enough.
but it is a consequence of living on islands and near the water.
Fair enough. I'm sure there's benefits that come to that as well. My name is David. This is Kyler. And then, of course, the gentleman we spoke to earlier is Rocco. First of all, Gary, we know you're a busy man. We truly appreciate you joining us. Do you mind maybe spending a couple minutes talking about maybe yourself, kind of what your expertise in the crypto space is, and then we'll get right into the questions and the content.
Yeah, sure. I'm not a native crypto digital guy. I a bit older, on the upper end of the age bracket for the crypto DeFi world. I started my career in the energy business. I think the best way to describe my career is finding industries or lucking into those industries when they are undergoing a massive amount of disruption, whether that's regulatory disruption. In the case of the energy business, I helped build a company called Dynegy. Became a Fortune 30 company with 12 people. I mean, it's just like 12 guys just like me. Went into the credit card industry in 2010, learned that. I saw that going under massive disruption. The credit card payment industry is, in my opinion, what the digital crypto space really should be targeting to help, not to harm or to take anything away from them. But the payment rails are so old now, they're 50 plus years old, and they've got a lot of problems with them for the way consumers behave today. You've had, in this disruption a moment, you've not only had technological change, but you've had a consumer disruption event that is structurally changed forever. I don't know about you guys, but I've done very, very little shopping in stores this year for Christmas. Most of it's been online. It's easier, faster, safer, everything. So I invest in businesses and help build those businesses when they're undergoing a lot of stress, typically in spaces that provide very valuable or must-have tools, whether it's chargeback management or whether it's risk management with trading energy, or in the case of Node 40, this recent investment, tax, which is mandated. Everybody gets to check a box, and once you check a box, you get to decide whether you took a loss or took a profit, and your accountant's going to want to know a history on that, and so is the regulatory bodies. They're going to want to know a really clear history of that crypto or DeFi asset position in your possession over the life. So just basically an entrepreneur.
And especially now with the new all these new agents they're hiring and really put an emphasis on getting people to report their right taxes. And we had you're the chairman of the board for the Node 40, which we had Marcin come in and do a demo for us. And let me tell you guys, that software, literally all you have to do, and we're not affiliated with them, we're not sponsored by them. It's just super cool, man. You put in your wallet addresses, and it takes everything, everywhere you sent, come to, onboarding, offboarding, how much fees you've paid. Because I don't know about you guys or you guys watching, when I did my crypto taxes a few years ago or even last year, when I got my report from Coinbase, it was so wrong. And I went to my tax person, I was like, what do I do here? It says wrong. They're like, well, if we go one by one and try to fix it, we're gonna have to charge you like $150 an hour. And this could take hours to do. And so you're like looking for a better way. There's products out there where you can link your KuCoin account or your Coinbase account, but it's just not the same. So Node 40, like I came to the realization, if you're a high volume trader or high frequency trader, this is something I think you have to have. Speaking of taxes,
thank you for the blurb, and again, this guy doesn't get paid anything. He's used a number of different tools, and he used this one. I'd like to actually speak to that if I may,
please, yeah.
Because it's a really interesting story. The way I came across these guys is a fascinating story, but this particular story builds on yours. I'm in the middle of a challenging divorce, should I say. And I am a hodler. Okay. I am the perfect example of a guy that goes and buys a lot of Ethereum, a lot of, BTC since 2016, and literally didn't even think about it. Like for 3 years, I didn't know what my password to Coinbase was, because that is really a hodler. Hey, I'm taking a position. I'll think about it in 10 years. Of course, today, lawyers, everybody's making a joke about my position, but this position was not put on for 3 months or 3 years. It was put on to give my kids. Now, I never thought I was going to be in a divorce and have forensic auditors around me, but when they showed up, I handed all of my Bitcoin, Binance, FTX, Ledger, all my wallets, because if you have a decent portfolio, you cannot be in one exchange. So I had to spread it around for risk management. I handed it to my accounting team. 4 days later, they come back with a solution. Spent $7,000 looking at this information. And then they told me that I had a $500,000 tax exposure because I had moved coins from one exchange to another. They saw that as a monetization event.
Just moving from one exchange?
Yeah. But see, you need to understand, there are 13,000 accounting and tax firms in the United States. None of these people, okay, have been educated on this space. They don't understand what a lot is. They don't understand what crypto is. They hear all this stuff from CNBC, which is half hogwash. So there's a tremendous amount of, not using a poor word, ignorance, just not knowing. And tracking a digital asset is extremely different than tracking the purchase of a home. Okay, it is really different because my transactions, fairly large dollar volume, is 400 transactions. We have a client at Node 40 that has a $400 portfolio, and she has 400 transactions.
Wow.
Okay, so you smaller people that are investing, and I don't mean to say it that way, like you're going to have to understand that part of the cost of you investing in the crypto space is also monitoring and historically tracking what that crypto is doing. So we have clients that come to us and go, hey, we can't afford $4,000 for a perfect, proper institutional grade software solution that tells our accounting teams exactly what we need to do because we only have a $400 book. Well, you probably need to do it by hand, or you need to increase the size of your positions or something, right? But we're not designed for small guys. There's plenty of people serving the consumer market. We have been building this for 3.5 years to help institutions. And our timing is brilliant because it was just a matter of time before one of these things blew up. This is the way markets work, okay? This is the way all great big industries are created. You have aggressive people push out tons of ideas. You get greed and fear going, and then you have collapses. So that does not make the whole industry bad. Enron collapsed, but they had a vision 20 to 5 years ago that fiber would trade on the minute, on the hour. And what are we doing now? Netflix streaming, Blockbuster's gone. You and I are doing this. This is absolutely what Enron. Their timing was wrong. They spent too much money on the front end, but they did not make their view of the industry wrong.
That's
so that's
point.
my example. Node 40 and the Node 40 stuff. Now I just carried it around to these law firms and go, here's my position. Like for the FTX thing, I knew what my position was after FTX closed because we back it up every day.
Speaking of FTX, Gary, can you, to the best of your expertise and knowledge, can you maybe talk about if I am someone who has money locked up on FTX or Voyager or Celsius, one of these centralized entities that went bankrupt, what are my options as far as decreasing my tax liability or somehow making that scenario better when it comes to filing my taxes? Is there any avenues people can go through? Obviously anything you're talking about is not legal or financial advice, but like, what would you, kind of leave it general and just speak on it however you'd like. Your mic is either muted or went dead.
I don't tell people what to do on investments or tax strategies, and Node 40 doesn't tell any accountants what to do. They give them the factual data, and the accounting firm is better equipped to tell the client, how far he wants to stretch out. I think on the FTX thing, if I understood your question correctly, this is the year, funny enough, my timing in business is, I think I'm blessed by the gods of commerce. This year, 2022, will make tax and accounting one of the sexiest businesses on the planet for the next 5 or 6 years. Tax and accounting has never been sexy. It's sexy now. And the reason it's sexy is, we'd go to Panama, we'd go to PR, we'd go to Cayman Islands where people are, building businesses in tax-free environments, and nobody wants to do any of their accounting or taxes in these tax-free environments. I would say that's massively wrong, by the way. You have a 20% arbitrage, you should be spending a lot of money on managing your position, long-term managing your position, so you hold on to that 20% savings. Tax loss harvesting is what's making accounting and tax sexy. If you were going to ever sell any of your crypto, even the hodlers, and the reason I brought the divorce up, that puts me in a position of now being a seller, right? Because I have to reduce some of my position to give it to my partner. So I also want to be able to do that in the most logical fashion possible. So if I have a tool like Node 40 that allows me to be locked, it's a really interesting question. Let's say that I die tomorrow, or let's say I get a divorce tomorrow. Which coins am I going to give my ex-partner? Am I going to give her the $69,000 coins or the $300 coins? And the tax treatment on that is massively different. Also, you guys that are moving coins around, unless you're really using a really, really sophisticated accounting tool, most of you are doing something that I call commingling. I have been guilty of it, taking an $8,000 coin and moving it into any other wallet is commingling, and you just lost your advantage of being able to give an $8,000 coin to your kids when this stuff's worth $1 million. I have lost that ability, right? So this is really about getting smart. And instead of thinking about not paying the tax man or, oh gosh, I've got to pay capital gains. I love paying capital gains because it means that I was profitable the year before, I'm succeeding, I'm prospering. I don't like paying capital gains if I had some opportunities to legally not pay them. And my tax code, the one I read, gives me a responsibility to minimize my tax exposure to the U.S. government legally. Like there's tons of ways to manage this, but I have to have professionals around me. So that's my answer on the FTX thing. I think the other thing the FTX brings up, no one's backing up their information daily. And we've just released a program we call Node 40 Backup, Node 40 Retriever, where every day we have a backup. I mean, it's like $3 a month or something stupid, right? Why wouldn't you not back up every exchange into another piece of software just in case something happens?
Yeah, we do that. I mean, with the studio, we have multiple recordings of this going on. So it's like, just in case something fails. I mean, software, hardware fails all the time.
Well, not only that, but you have, I mean, look at Kevin O'Leary. He's like, all my information is wiped. And so imagine going to file taxes. You don't have any backup. You're not using any program that has tracked every movement of your crypto in and out of exchanges or what you've paid in fees so you can write that off. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, it's interesting. I heard Kevin say that recently. I think he's getting a lot of heat right now, so I'm not gonna add on to it. But it's so easy to add on to it. It's so easy to add on, right? He owns a company like ours, actually an accounting company. I think it's a small consumer. It's focused on small consumers, and people need to understand in the crypto digital DeFi space, the vastness of the consumer of the user. Is really huge. Okay, like it goes from Fidelity to my 75-year-old sister who owns some Grayscale. Now, when you're building software solutions, backup systems, stuff you're talking about, who are you building those for? Are you building it for my sister? The sister wants to pay 50 cents. She wants it embedded in all her activities. Fidelity needs it at a super grade level, nuclear proof, right? I mean, so not all vendors and not all software is actually targeting solving the same problem for the same type of user. A Navy SEAL does not bring a BB gun to the engagement, right? He brings a proper weapon that's been serviced and he knows how to use it. I'd say the same thing is true about this industry. I think with Kevin, it's like I've been trying to get a hold of him to talk to him about Node 40. I think it just shows you how quickly this industry has exploded. It is very natural for someone to back up. Sorry, guys. Two very nice dogs.
I heard a bird in the background too. I know one of our co-hosts is not here, Robin. He's a big bird guy. Is Larry Bird is his name.
My house is full of animals. It keeps the sanity level down here when you see all the craziness going on in this world. But Kevin, like it just shows, I think people are having wake-up calls now. They're really starting to go, hey, I should have backed that up. And so if you have a backup issue, which is much more complicated than people think, if you have a backup issue, contact us, because I think it's lunacy that someone goes on CNBC as a leader and says, hey, I don't have a backup. Really? Like I knew what my position was the next day. I didn't like it, but I knew what it was.
So Gary, we have a question from the chat here, and I'm not sure how much detail you can give, but Tom said, from what I heard this year, the crypto tax loss harvesting rules changed. What do you know about that? And I understand you're not an accountant, right? You're not a CPA, to my knowledge. But is there anything you can comment on that?
I probably need a little bit more clarity on what the question is. The tax code is constantly changing, but is it meaningful? And they normally don't change it in the year. I'm not aware of a tax change law that occurs in 2022. If I had a $10 million loss, capital gain loss, I have a $10 million loss. And now I got to decide, hey, do I use that right now? Do I want more? Do I need more losses? Do I need less losses? See, people think about doing their taxes 1 or 2 times a year. And what they should be thinking about in the accounting firms, I'm not an accountant, okay? I'm not aligned with any accountants. I don't like paying my accountant a bunch of money, right? I got 4 of them. But the truth is, I probably need somebody to help me through with, if I have a divorce, like what do I want to do? I was hoping to hold on to all these coins. If I have a loss on my Ethereum position that I wasn't expecting, and I'm going to sell a house that happens to make $6 or $7 million in profit, maybe I should sell those in December, take my loss, cross it up against the $6 million profit, and then reload in 30 days or reload the next day, which to my knowledge, you can still reload the next day, meaning you can put your position back on the following day. Doesn't make me less of a hodler because I sold my coins. What it makes me is fairly savvy as to how to minimize my profits and maximize my losses as it relates to capital gains. So once you get beyond $500,000 position, you need some professionals, guys. You can't do this on the back of an envelope.
What about, do you have any advice for maybe the average investor that maybe has, $10,000, $20,000 portfolio as the year comes to an end? If let's say we're at a loss, right? Obviously with everything going down, what's any advice you would give as to how to proceed into next year?
Well, I don't, I have a famous twin brother, right? I love Grant. Yeah. One, I don't deal with consumers. My brother has really gone down the consumer route, which has been awesome for him. One thing I don't, sometimes I grind up against Grant on is that I don't give people advice about what they should do unless I know everything about their whole life.
Fair enough.
So, if a guy's got a $30,000 position, let's say that he has some profit somewhere else. Is that position really that relevant that if they wanted to put it on for a long time, like I put it on and forget about it? But I think it really depends on the situation for that particular person. That's why they need a professional, or they need somebody close to them, an advisor they trust that helps them logically think through the situation. Sorry, I can't be more clear, but I think that's the right answer.
That's fair enough, and we, I appreciate people that, don't just blurt out BS answers just to give an answer, right?
Yeah, I've had people tell me, hey, why are you still working? You don't need to work. And I'm like, well, maybe I like working. Maybe I don't get a lot of joy out of going to bars and hopping and meeting different people. And I like building things. I hope not to just have a webcast with you guys one time. I would like to build a relationship with you guys. Otherwise, this is kind of like just poof, went into a store, had an experience, see you guys later.
Right.
For me, it doesn't make up a life. It just that's a McDonald's experience.
Right.
No offense, McDonald's. I've been using the McDonald's experience a lot with Node 40 because I think a lot of people are trying to solve very, very complex problems. This is a computer science problem with large data. We have a client that does 1.5 billion transactions a year.
Did you say 1.5 billion? 1.5
billion
one
transactions.
Person, or is it a whole entity?
One human being, okay?
Jesus Christ.
Look, these are alpha traders, okay? They're chasing volatility. They love the crypto for 3 or 4 years from now will attract these type of people. These are the animals. They look for volatility. They're not bad people. They're actually helping liquidity in the market, and they're trading $50, $60, $70 spreads in big volumes. How do you account for that? There's a group of people, 3 or 4 high-frequency traders, use us simply, not for accounting. They use us, not for tax. They use us for accounting to understand what their position is that afternoon on all their positions, down to the lot level. And these are just it's so much volume. It's very, very difficult to manage that kind of volume, not to mention the data storage required. Because you got to remember, you got to keep this information for a long time.
I think people discount the information and keeping it and how it could better serve you, honestly.
There's Filecoin, there's storage coins that are actually trying to solve the situation as well, that are kind of within the realm of crypto. So, I think eventually, hopefully the ecosystem will kind of like be able to become self-sufficient. It'd be pretty cool.
Well, I don't think it'll be self-sufficient, though. I think that it will be sufficient because players like us show up to the table and we build all the tools. The DeFi crypto, and we spend a lot of time on crypto. I think actually DeFi is going to be much larger than crypto, and I think a lot of people confuse DeFi and crypto. They are very different worlds. DeFi is trying to solve all the inefficiencies of the legacy world of traditional finance. That is a world that was untouched by Web 2.0. In fact, I would say that the financial industry across the board was put on steroids with a hit of Adderall and probably some of the psychedelics. Literally last 12 years, the financial industry has exploded because of Web 1.0 and 2.0. It was untouched in a negative manner from this evolution or revolution. DeFi and crypto are going after the rest of the financial industry that remained untouched. And it's not going after it in a predatory fashion. It's going after it in a fashion of filling a gap, a big chasm that's been created between legacy world that was using analog mindset and an analog technological universe versus what we have today, which is network effects and technology that, like this new computer I'm on right now, it's got like 10 terabytes of storage or something stupid, right? That was never available 5 years ago. Not to mention my telephone, it has the capacity to do things that it's never been able to do, including make payments to you guys if necessary. So the world's very different, and I think the financial industry, the DeFi world, now all these NFTs, all that's a digital asset now. It has to be tracked. I happen to think that in the next 10 years, everything that you and I do is going to be tracked and accounted for in a digital fashion, including this webinar.
Gary, I don't mean to cut you off. I have a question. Note 40, do they track NFT sales and transfers as well?
Our specialty is DeFi. Like we love the DeFi piece of this, okay? Like that is our HFTs, DeFi, like unique, complex, large positions. Those require a very agnostic view, and it requires a technological perspective that goes really traces everything down to I got some guys that work for us that they drive me a little mental. We have a position with a client's got $1 billion position, very large trader, and we manage, I think, 15 different positions or portfolios, packages. They settled within 9 cents over 1 year, 9 pennies. And one of my guys was going crazy trying to find the 9 pennies. Now, I thought it was a little silly, but his position is, hey, it's math. It should be down to the decimal. Everything should be perfect. And that's a really beautiful world to think about. Like, if we could get down to perfect, I don't know about you guys, but my banks, I get $15 fee for this, $8 for this. I don't know what any of these fees are for.
I wish Robin was here because he would go off right now.
No, I mean,
Robin, our other founder and co-host.
I definitely feel that too, because I got off of crypto.com because they were feeing me twice. I would catch a fee when I would buy, so I would buy a crypto on crypto.com, and I'd get a banking fee from my bank, and then I would get another banking fee from whatever Bahaman or wherever that they were, wherever they actually are holding.
Like a wire fee or something.
Yeah, so I'd catch twice, so that's why I switched to Coinbase, because I was tired of getting double feed.
Right.
I don't know. I think all of us here agree. DeFi, DeFi is the future, and DeFi is going to do things that a lot of people are going to be surprised to see what areas in crypto it changes. So I guess I'll kind of end it with this, Gary. If people want more information on Node 40, I guess this is a 2-part question. One, I know everything you've talked about has been high frequency trading. People that have make tons of trades. What about the average retail investor? Can they still use Node 40? And where can people find more information about the program?
Look, quite frankly, if your position isn't $500,000, I think we're too heavy for you. Okay. Like I think some tools we're not a consumer face business. We've actually thought, I mean, look, the tool is so robust. It's clearly effective for a consumer. The problem is I have to be a consumer driven business, which means I have to do marketing and I've got to go compete with TaxBit and Luca. And
Are there any plans or maybe discussions
there's a dozen players that have already gone down the consumer model. I don't think that's the business play. I think the investment strategy here, first off, my experience is in big institutions dealing with Goldman Sachs and FIS and WorldPay and Visa, MasterCard, people like that. It's just what I like dealing with those guys. I'm not a consumer guy. I do think that we've entertained some people that have approached us that like consumer models, that could they buy that solution from us and they then offer it out to a global consumer market. That we would entertain. I think that you get, if I'm a consumer, I quit playing around with this until I really make a decision that I'm going to treat it really, really seriously, first off. And if you think that you're not going to pay your taxes, one of you guys said, hey, 86,000 people are being hired by the IRS. That's not all to go after crypto. Look, there's no business in the United States that you can't not pay your taxes. Okay, that's going to be part of the deal. And once you check the box, which your IRS forms require you to check a box 2 years ago, your accounting firm is going to require you to do it. The question is, are you doing it correctly? And that is the big challenge. Are any of these tools actually working correctly? So I would just do your research. One of the reasons that maybe a consumer would engage with us would be just to buy a model to cross-check whether or not their own accounting firm is doing it correctly.
Right.
If I am using a solution, I would ask myself this question: is the solution I'm using neutral, agnostic? Is it attached to anything? So there's a lot of investment decisions that have been made in the last 18 months. I don't think people really thought about the relationships that some of these investments were beginning to engage in, because you've got accounting companies becoming crypto kind of accounting companies, and you got crypto companies becoming accounting companies, and you got banks becoming, like, where's your lane? And I've seen a lot of people fail of getting out of their lane. I've seen a lot of people fail just following the other guy too. So we tend to stay really, really focused. You guys running big positions. Look, everyone's going to have a $500,000 position in crypto if you don't sell it. And if you're not buying bullshit, okay, and I do mean bullshit, but if you're buying BTC, one day you're going to have a $500,000 position. And if you look at it that way, these guys in the PR go, well, this stuff's going to be worth $1 million, but I ain't paying my taxes. I'm not hiring accounting. I'm like, dude, you think this is going to be worth $1 million? You got 30 of these coins, right, and you're going to give them to your kid when you're dead, and your kid's going to get pillaged by the legal system. They are not going to just take the inheritance piece, dude. They're going to take it all because you don't have any history. You were so cheap, you couldn't spend $8,000 a year to protect a $1 million position. That's crazy. See, and that's the kind of behavior that's creating some of the problems we have today. It's not just FTX or Sam. He got away with this because everybody was not looking. Everybody was greedy. Kevin was greedy.
$100 QuickBooks accounting was not sufficient.
Hey, they did the desktop version for $170. Okay.
Yeah. Look. Maybe they come and buy us one day, right? So I can't say anything negative.
I highly doubt
but
that.
They need a different tool. That's a fact.
Right. You had mentioned, and we'll kind of wrap it up on this. You kind of mentioned, hey, I don't know in the divorce what to give my wife. I recommend giving her your Shiba Inu and your Dogecoin. Don't give her the Bitcoin. Don't give her the ETH, right? Give her the meme coins.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I think Eddie Murphy talked about this before. I want half, Eddie. Give me half.
Yeah, and listen, I didn't mean to bring that up to be a naysayer or to be any
No.
negativity.
No, it's relevant,
I
man.
think it's a very good example that no one wants to use,
Right.
especially the hollers. They're like, hey, I ain't ever selling. I was that guy. I'm like, okay, well, my situation changed.
Right.
And I didn't control that situation. So I have to be adaptable. And having the information now allows me to make a really logical decision.
I agree. Kyler, you had a question
So
for
you asked me a question. People can contact us at node40.com.
Node40.com.
Yeah, Gary.Cardone at node40.com. I'm very easy to get on LinkedIn. And if you have technical questions, I'll put you to the right people. If you have sales questions, I'll put you to the right people. And we love working cooperatively with other people. So feel free to reach out. And we want to help the industry become more stable. By the way, I was listening to your other broadcasts on stable coins. I think that's a whole topic that I think the industry would really do well to like stop using the word stable coin and call it linked coin. Very different. Oh, it's linked to something. Oh, okay, that has risk. Stable coin's a little misleading. Okay?
Yeah, it makes it
linked
sound.
coin. Yeah, it makes it sound like it's all perfect and but it's not. It can't possibly be stable. The moment I link myself to another thing, I have either made my position stronger or weaker.
Counterparty risk, right?
Well, there's counterparty risk. There's other types of risk. You know, what happens if you catch a cold? You know, you catch a cold, do I catch a cold? Like every business I've ever built is like, look, if I catch a cold, you will never, ever know it. Right. That's the kind of relationships that we all need to have, that when I'm going through a divorce, your world doesn't get worse just because my world got worse, right? Well, why does that need to happen? But the stable coin thing, I think there's a lot of stuff in this industry that goes on that, for instance, that little bit of nomenclature, you know, if you'd have said it was linked, then I understand. It's linked to something. Hey, what's it linked to? Oh, it's, you know, my gym guy doesn't know my trainer doesn't know to ask that question. Stable. Hey, it's stable, Gary. Look, it says it's stable. So we want everybody involved. We don't want people to get raped and pillaged here.
That's an interesting take, and we'll see how the regulation comes about and what they decide to do, and how they decide to regulate these stablecoin issuers. Whether they're going to regulate them all as banks, or something different. Kyler, did you have a question before we let Gary go?
Yeah, just on the way out, is there any crypto project out there that you are excited about, that you think is going to do really cool things? Anything that's catching your eye right now that you're excited to see what the future holds for it?
Am I allowed to say Node 40?
Is that a crypto?
Is it a crypto?
Coin? It's not a crypto. No, a token,
it's
a project.
It's a crypto project for me. Look, I don't necessarily get into the what's going to work, what's not going to work. I think it's pretty safe to say that legacy business is going to get very disturbed here. And so if I am legacy business, if I built a business in the year 2020 or before, I should really wake up and look around what's going on here. And I think that is the greatest exposure on this planet, not so much which project's going to work. Dude, 80% of all the people coming out of proper schools, business courses, have no interest in going back into the old world. 80%, whether it's a great school or a shitty school. I don't think there are any shitty schools, but Harvard all the way down, 80% of the people have no interest in going to work for Sears or Costco or Ford Motor Company. Or the banks. They're going into blockchain. When you have that much intellectual capital moving into a market, there is no chance it doesn't work.
Did you say Sears?
No chance. Yeah,
that was my dad's favorite store. He loved Sears. He would take me out on Saturdays. Like, let's go to Sears, son. I got to buy a fridge and this and that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, that was when people used to talk to each other, though. So you could go to Sears and have a 3-hour event and see your neighbors and chat with them and say hello to people. And
now we talk to each other metaversally.
You get that community going again.
Yeah,
exactly. Hey, well, guys, thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, Gary,
thank you.
We know you're a busy man. We wanted to thank you so much for your time. We definitely look forward to bringing you back on again. And if you guys ever decide to pivot and move into the world of consumer, I think you'd be doing the space a great service with what you guys do. If you guys want more information, go to node40.com, especially if you are or you know someone that is a high frequency trader. It's extremely affordable if you're a high frequency trader. So definitely on that. Gary, thank you so much again. But on behalf of everyone here at Sin City Crypto, we look forward to having you again. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great Christmas, okay?
You too, my friend. Take care.
Yeah.
All right. Magic Internet Money said he does 2,500 trades a year.
That dude is dope, man. That was cool.
Gary was cool, man. Yeah.
That was super cool. Hey, if you want more people like that, come on, give us a like.
Hit that broken
share
like
it.
button.
This is dope, man. This is cool. It was fun to be a fly on the wall for that guy. That was fun.
I like the conversation about the stablecoin. That's something really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's kind of connect to what I was saying earlier. What is linked to? What is back?
Yeah,
what is
see?
having come out
That's
with
what we're-
something
yeah.
different than that?
Right.
That's
Because
what
people
it-
think stable coin,
Yeah,
it's
we-
stable, but we know it's not stable.
That's the name.
Exactly. I want to go to, so Gary kind of ended with legacy is going to they got to either catch up or they're going to be screwed. Well, here's one example of legacy Visa trying to adopt crypto and understand. So here we have Visa proposes Ethereum auto payment scheme. Visa has proposed a blockchain account design that could allow Ethereum users to arrange auto payments for a self-custodied wallet. We're going to take a quick break. So we want to celebrate something really, really quick. Tomorrow is the Don. Rocco, put the camera on you.
Yeah, full screen, full screen.
Tomorrow is the Don's
screen
birthday.
you, Rocco.
Don Rocco
Oh
will
my
not be
God,
here
this-
tomorrow, so we are helping him celebrate his lovely wife. Brought him a cake with a candle.
Yeah.
Rocco.
Oh my
Ooh, is that
God.
chocolate?
Happy
birthday, my friend. Happy birthday.
Okay,
Happy
guys.
birthday, Rocco.
All right, gonna blow a cake, guys. Otherwise, hey, that's it.
Rocco, how old are you now?
That's it.
22?
I'm about 22, 23.
23, okay.
I think
You look
that's-
good, buddy.
Thank you.
You got
Happy
the
birthday.
best sweaters, by the way.
You do
Every
have the best
time I
sweaters.
look so comfortable.
Rocco, once a week, maybe can you put one of your shirts that you wear on the show? Maybe people like your style. You know, you're from Italy, you know.
Yeah, you sharp dressed.
Okay.
Got cool shoes too.
I don't know about the shoes. Shoes are kind of weird, but anyways,
For the environment, this is why I come here. You know, gotta run everything in the last minute. So
I know, yeah. Thanks, Robin. Just kidding. Huge shout out, Rocco. I want you guys to understand.
but let's show these two because that's
Oh, and we got
you don't know what's
coffee.
coming for you guys.
What? Thank you, Rocco's wife. Amazing. Thank you. I want you guys to understand something, right? You see me, you see Robin, you see Kyler on screen. Ooh,
Guys, look at these guys.
that is delicious, delicious.
Nice and puffy.
You know, you see us on the screen. We're talking, we're bringing the content, but you guys just don't understand unless you've been in the studio. You can ask people like Jason Squires and anyone else who's been in the studio. What goes into the actual production and camera flipping and vMix calls and everything in the back end. That's all Rocco. So I want you guys to understand this show would not be possible without this man. So Rocco,
Thank you very much.
Happy
You're so
birthday, my
kind,
friend.
guys. Thank
We
you
love
very
you.
much. Thank you all. Thank
and
you.
we're gonna
all
miss
also
you.
this right
Rocco's
here.
leaving us.
Yeah.
He won't be back until after. He'll be gone for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
He's taking a very
Vacation.
well-deserved vacation.
Yes.
So, Rocco, happy birthday, my
Thank
friend.
you. Thank
We
you
love
very much, guys. So kind.
Of course.
Thank you.
And thank you to your lovely wife who brought us our coffee. All right. Damn, I shouldn't have drank this Red Bull. Okay, let's get back. Wow, Rocco, you brought us a new subscriber. Mirth said, just subscribed. Happy birthday, Mirth.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
No,
you.
no, please. Please, for the love of Jesus Christ, his birthday is in 5 days. Please. All right, so
Thank you, guys. Thank you all in
Thank
the
you.
chat. Thank you very much.
all right, so let's get back to this article here. Visa proposed Ethereum auto payment scheme. So they are proposing a blockchain account design that could allow ETH users to arrange auto payments from a self-custodied wallet. Visa proposes using auto abstraction, an Ethereum feature that is currently under consideration by Ethereum's core developers to implement automatic payments. Ethereum does not allow this at a basic level currently, as automated smart contracts cannot request transactions. Visa explained that by using account abstraction, it was able to combine the functions of user accounts and smart contracts into a single type of Ethereum account. This approach allows a merchant, let's say like a Netflix or HBO Max or Hulu or your life insurance company, anything that's on auto payment, to deploy an automatic payment smart contract after a user with a delegable account grants permission, a merchant can trigger a payment by calling the charge function of the automatic payments contract. And also it adds the auto payment contract to a whitelist for future payments. So to what Gary was saying,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
literally
Sounds dope if you've got Node 40 and it's keeping track of all that stuff for you.
But blockchain and crypto, right? Web3 is coming for legacy finance, legacy markets, legacy everything. And so, no, please, for the love of Rocco, mute his mic. So, hey, man, it's happening slowly but surely. And then I think there was a couple other things. Not that one. Oh, this one. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So QuadrigaCX was the largest Bitcoin exchange in Canada. The owner of the exchange mysteriously died in 2017 or 2018. By the way, if you're from Canada, put a 1 in chat. He mysteriously died.
Is this the guy that died in India?
I don't know where, I think so. And his wife came out and said the funds are locked because he was the only one with the private keys. I don't know if it was in his head or written down somewhere. So everyone assumed that money is completely gone. The money's completely gone. And several Bitcoin wallets associated with the defunct crypto exchange QuadrigaCX have transferred funds after 3 years of dormancy. By the way, there was a documentary on Netflix called, what was it called? Someone help me out here. There was a documentary on Netflix. I think Keeping Up, whatever it was. Someone will throw it in the chat. Go watch it. It was pretty interesting. Zach XBT, which is the guy we showed his Twitter handle, by the way. This is Twitter handle. Do yourselves a favor. Go follow him at Zach XBT. He reported the movement of the funds today. He estimated that 104 Bitcoin, around $1.7 million, had been moved. Of that amount, 69 Bitcoin, which was 1.1 million, was sent to Wasabi, which is a Bitcoin wallet that has a coin mixing service. The four addresses listed above here have not moved funds since 2019. QuadrigaCX's bankruptcy trustee, Ernst & Young, erroneously sent 103 Bitcoin to a QuadrigaCX address that it could not access in 2019. When they were asked about it, they did not comment, but they said they were aware of the funds being moved.
Erroneous.
Some smells fishy here. Some smells funny, fishy.
Well, you just think that people that lost their money were just going to forget?
Right? Well, this is why, guys, what
It's
I
been
want you
3
to,
years. Nobody remembers
No,
anymore,
but what
right?
I want you to understand is the people like this Zach XBT guy, and he's just one of many. You can literally track everything on chain.
And you can put alerts.
Track it on chain, man.
It's effortless now.
Well, I don't know if I call it effortless.
I mean, it could be effortless if you do the work to set it up.
If you've identified the wallets.
Hey, Jason S, $9.99 super chat. Happy birthday, Rocco.
That's right. Also, Crypto Jumpman, Crypto JMP said, I think stable, it's meant to be like a stable as in the house or holding coin.
I think you meant a horse, like where you stable your horses.
Interesting. I don't know. That's all semantics though, but we'll see what the stablecoin law comes. But as far as this Quadriga thing, have you watched that documentary? Have you followed it, Kyler?
Yes, you're talking about the one. That's why I knew he died in
India.
Yeah,
the guy died. He was the only one with the
There
keys.
was like no autopsy. It was like really, really sketchy.
It was super sketchy. You don't believe that, right?
No.
You think the guy's alive?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he dipped. I think he's still probably in India. He goes by, I don't know.
They might be able to track the movement and I don't know, catch the guy. I think that'd be cool. So that's pretty interesting. People have long thought that these wallets were done, or this guy was done and Bernie wasn't being moved, but it was. Guys, that'll do it for the show today. Again, big thank you to Rocco's wife and a big cut his mic. Big happy birthday to our man Rocco. Guys, go check out all of our social media accounts. The links are in the description of this video. We're especially active on Twitter. We're 1 follower away from 1,800. Who will help us get there? At Sin City Crypto One. Also, if you like crypto or Sin City merch, go look at our merch store. There's the banner. Everyone, Don is giving an offer you cannot refuse. Everyone gets 10% off. If you're a whale member of this channel, first and foremost, thank you so much. Second most, you have a special 15% off code that you can use until Christmas.
Yeah.
And then go join our community ran Discord. Rocco, I will let you end the show for us today. Let's see your finger tornado, my friend.
Thanks for putting up with me for 2 days.
Thank you, Macho
Absolutely.
Man.
Love that. That was fun.
No, bad. We'll give it Rocco. Rocco, you take us out, my friend. Happy birthday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Friend and family, thank you very much for participating and watch us every day in this Christmas holiday season. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much for the wishing and super chats. Love the community. Keep up with us, guys. Follow us at 10:30 every day, Monday to Friday. Bye.
Love you guys. See you tomorrow.